Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 2nd of September. Starting with the S&P on the weekly chart here, we have a wave 3 here. We have an expanded flat of an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4, and then we're looking for a move above this high here. So pretty much at minimum we'll be looking at 4,150 here as an extension, as a 161 extension here. So we're certainly in this bull market here, and I have to say it's been quite interesting really, because when we had this move down through here, we counted 5 waves right to this low here, and we needed confirmation to trade long, so we used the 2,500 here as a tested support, and then bought new highs, or even before that actually, and moved in. It's the same thing that we did over on this particular low here as well. And it's quite interesting really, just sort of looking at the media and other traders and so on, when we're right at the low here, how bearish everybody was, and also how bearish everybody was in this rally here as well. And then as it started to make new highs here, it was just interesting to watch the sentiment, or watch people's minds go into confusion and slowly change, and all these rush of opinions and emotions that were going on in this space. And even once we'd moved to the, say, from this high here to this low here, once we got to the 61.8% here, close on the 3,000 there, how many Elliott people were, and other traditional traders were looking at, it still moving down in this way. And I think our approach, Elliott wave can be a little bit wishy-washy, but at the same time it can be hauntingly right. But what we do is we just use simple support and resistance. We just keep counting the 5 wave structures to keep us in the right direction, and then we look for tested support on certain price points, and then we just keep working higher at that point. And that's what we've done all the way along, and that's why we've been able to stay on the right side of the market. And that's the same coming through the old high here. We just took it step by step by step, and we continue to do that. We don't really trade ETFs, so we're not in it for the sort of long haul, where we're trading futures contracts and CFDs and so on, leverage things. So we do move in and out of the markets, quite a lot, as you know. But all said and done here, now there are different ways to count this move up here, but at the same time, I think you've got to get your head around that we're in this bull market here, and we can go much higher than the 4,000 when you think about it. So anyway, we just continue to go step by step with all of this. Now there's a couple of ways to count this up here, and we can have a look at those. So the first one is just on this daily chart here. It's just another way to view it here. I need to do some more work on this, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, then an ABC for wave 2, then up for 1 and back for 2, and then up and back for 2. And the other way is, as I just mentioned, is putting this is our original count on our website, where we had 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1 and 2, but a nice tested support on the 3,000 here, and enabled us to pick a lot of long positions through what I call, this is a 3,000 is a major trading level, but 10, 20 and 30 here are 300, 10, 100, 200 and 300, all of group 1 here. Now we're at 5 here, so we'll probably see, we're in, if this count is correct, we're in the third of the third of the third here, and it's really just motoring along, beavering along really. And so we may not spend a lot of time here, but probably we can sort of come up here a bit and come back and check it and then continue on here. It's not such a big deal, but we'll look at the finer points of all of this. But, you know, I think what I'm trying to say today is that we can quite comfortably look at 4,000 here. Now on the way up here, the levels are 1, 2 and 3 as I mentioned, and then we've got 5 here and then 8. But also we call 8 a profit taking number, and you'll see that when we get here. But at the same time, there's group 2 in here. So group 2 here, we'll just pop it in here, will be 650 in here. So that will be our next level, not quite there, but close enough. And then we go into 72 here, which will be 3,720. Probably can't get that spot on there, but we'll fix that later. Now, it's not to say that 600 is not important and 700 is not important. They'll play their parts in there, and then we'll take that on board. But this is the basic skeleton between 3,000 and 4,000 in terms of the trading levels where we use the Fibonacci as a price ratio here, and it seems to fit well. We all know that the retracements of 61.8% and so on work quite well, but when you put them in a matrix of using the price here, it also strengthens that concept up somewhat. Anyway, let's just cruise in here to where we are here. So, yeah, I'm still in this third wave, so I'm looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going up in here to 5 of 3 and back for 4 at that point. So we'll just see how this extends up. Like I mentioned, we're in the third of a third of a third. So it's a powerful point of the structure, and it just seems to, just to keep beavering along without having deep corrections. If we were in a big wave 5, then the retracements would be deeper, but they're more shallow in third waves. So I'll just move to the hourly chart here. And yesterday we were also looking, as you know, we were looking perhaps for a deeper correction into group 2 here. We're at 35, so we have subgroup 1 above and subgroup 2 below as the support. So it didn't really leave the 35, but so we were expecting it to come lower, so I got that wrong, and I do get my fair share of things wrong. But at the same time, we were very practical, and we looked to go long above this high here. So we should be long here now, and we can just put in the stop. We'll just leave the stop under here for the time being. And we should see this continue to move up here. Now, it's possible to have this wave 4 sitting over here on this one here for this. So a bit of an A, B, and C here, but it kind of looks a little bit better like this as 1 and 2 here, and going up for wave 3, 4, and 5. So the next step here is looking for support on top of group 1. So group 1 is 1, 2, and 3. In this case, it could be 100, 200, and 300. That would be minor levels, and sub levels are 10, 20, and 30. So we're looking for support on top of group 1 here, the 3,530. Once it gets support on top of number 3 as a number is really, as a price point, is really important, because if we get a tested support here, then the market is not going to be pulled back to the closest largest number. Instead, the market people will start to look up to this next number here, which is the 50, which are called the midpoint. So between 500 and 600, we have the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 here. But with 8, we always put in group 2 here, 65, 72, and 80 here. That breaks the problem down into small chunks that we can understand and get solutions for, because we know if we get support on top of number 3 here, a bit of a classic trading levels pattern here, then we know that we'll get to the 5. And when we get to the 5, there'll be a reaction, the first high above the level, and so on until we've got support on 5, and then we'll push up to group 2 at this point. But in the bigger picture, you know where we are. So it's unlikely the market's going to pull back into into this space here, we'll end up having a smaller correction, but we'll manage that again once we get there. But at the moment, we're often racing and we're into this impulse wave to the upside here. We did look at this. I'll just go maybe to the tick chart. I think we looked. This will be 1 degree higher here, but that's okay. So we were looking at this yesterday as wave 3 here, and we come down. We knew we had 5 waves here, an A and a B and a C. We're also looking for 5 waves here. So this can be the end of it here as an A and a B and a C here. I need to bring this up 1 level. But also too, we could have wave 4 over here. And so we're not really at this wave 3 yet. So we need to bring that further up there. I need to upgrade everything a little bit. So the labeling is incorrect, but the counting is correct, and that's the main thing here. So just looking at this point here, we can look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. I need to resolve this because I don't have a really nice 5-wave structure here. I do. We could count this as 1 and 2 here, but then it makes the wave 3 here really short, so there's a bit of a problem here, and I can get 5 waves out of here. So it's possible that we've got an A and a B and a C here. So my problem is I've got to figure out by looking at other markets that do we have wave 1 here or do we have wave 1 over here starting. But either way, we'll just forget about this one for the moment until I figure it out. But what I will do is just continue to work on this one here to the upside. Now I need to lift the degree of structure up, but the counting is fine. And what we're looking for here with this is we're looking for, we've had the little arrival, the reaction with the first high above the level. In the off hours, we'll see some type of little correction here, and then we'll push off again from that point. So we're not finished with this just yet. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ as well. Just a quick look. There's still no problems here with this. We're still heading higher in this space. We've got a long trade in here. You may have gone long again on the 12,000 through here. That would have been the right thing to do, as I explained over here. So you can just continue to move on in here, and we'll be up at the 13,000 for the NASDAQ 100. I should actually put that on here, really, because it gets a bit confusing if people are looking at the comp as such. I just want to have a look at a couple of stocks. Well, we've just been sort of focused on on Amazon here. So we've been looking for this to push up here. I haven't really adjusted or looked at this here, but we'll still be looking. Well, this is 3,500 here, so we'll be looking for a correction across the 3,500. But this has been this has been my guiding light, the stocks, because they've been telling me that they're moving higher. So that in return for that, that tells me obviously that the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 are going to continue to move higher. And we've also been looking at Alphabet, so I'll just have a look at that here. Once again, we're long here. We'll leave the stop out of the way. And we're going to see a dance across the 1650, as I mentioned before. We'll see the arrival, the reaction, which we've got here, the arrival, the reaction. We're looking for the first high above the level, and then some type of little correction here. Then we'll have another setup that we can go long on that level as well. I mean, you can go long, you know, when we know that we've got such a strong trend happening, you can pretty much go long anywhere. But I think it's good behavior to work to a particular method all the time, and then when times get tough, because there's a lot of times when I don't know what the Elliott count is, and then I revert straight back to support and resistance. So if I was going to go long down here, which we were thinking about, we had to have the first high above the level. We went in here and here, and we did all the right things at the right time. And it just shores up the situation of our trading. So yeah, anyway, enough waffling on. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.